Good day, sir. This is my final project on CPEP 112 Programming Logic and Design. The concept of the program is this program to store and operate employees' information and salary. This will help employee in order to identify his check and or his information on the company. Also, it comes with salary computation and a payslip. The problems that I encountered in putting the character string at the first will just copy the number, but it is accepted because other name also have number and an address. Another thing is stored employee in the program is being deleted, and when adding another employee and assigning it with the same ID number on the previous employee being stored that being deleted will not recognize anymore because the main ID of the player deleted is recognized returning to a zero value. Also, in encountering it, an employee to its problem. Learnings. Creating solutions on complexity in the runtime of the code and managing the main flow of the program. Also using new functions being learned from our professor had helped me and absorb in the flow of program like checking bug likely to happen. So let's get started to the codes. Declaring the files and run programs some function in the library. Each tag includes stdio, lib, conios, stdbool, and string. For declaring structural employee, we have the ID, salary, phone number, age, first name, last name, address, street, address municipal, and address province. Then access to computation, storing data. Then as we go to the calling function, I put this on intv because it's a global function. Then on the num checker void in order to check the integer if it is a char or not. Then the case 1 statement. Employee name, daily rate employee, so and so on the computation, and then it will print the overall info. Then proceeding to void case 2, foreign data, just the data to store the data of the employee, then condition. Case 3, short information for void case 4, declaring the whole information of the employee. Then 5, the deleting case will be called here. And case 6 is the main payslip. So go on to main, assigning characters to C and equals N, and to navigate the value of employees, then to rather check its situation. Then max employee in D. So system intro, then I had used a do loop because it will just continue until it presses 7 to exit. Then it's a switch case of case 1. Condition putting the condition that if n is not, there's no existing employee, so that it can be monitored and can be checked that the user don't have any employees registered. Then if there is, then print the employee's ID. Then checking num checker in order to identify if it's an int or char. Then the loop calling the case 1 function, case checker again. For the reason I put in here because the function above, if it's the num checker value, it will print a value of v, so that in calling the function in the main, or is it recognize the condition of 1. Then it will value of 0 in order to avoid bugs on the other functions recognizing the value. So go on and hold on and then go to hello system break the end of case 1. Then the case 2 storing employee. Please choose your corresponding. Then if you choose one, then if there's there's already an employee, it will just go to main menu and recommended you to choose the option 2. Then an else, if not 0, then it will continually store on the choices of number 1. Then calling the function, checking it, then go to fish, it will end the program. And if case 2 is error, it goes to fish, my bad. And then the program of case 2, I won't check, it will go to froze, then store employee. And I choose still the same condition. If there's no employee being stored, it cannot be added. And why did I put this is to check errors and bugs in order to not duplicate in storing values. Then n plus 1 if choose and choose 2. Then in the checking, if the user input a character, it will check and then return its value to n12 because in storing int value, it will plus value of the number of employees. Then it will rather minus it because to avoid duplication and plus too much fabricated employees inputted. Then if you want yes, then if one is yes, then it's plus 1. Then continue again, that else if to break. Else please choose to give incorrectly. In case 3, scanning the employee's number, as always it will check the num check, then calling the function of code 3, system pause, and done. Then can for same again. And then there's a condition too that if there's no stored value, it will not proceed to the function of entering the employee's ID. Then if it is correct value, then post it to the looping, calling the function for, and if the employee is not found, it will proceed here, employee not registered. Then for the case 5, the employee is not wanted to delete, conditioning function, then calling if the statement is yes, true, it will proceed to the looping of finding the employee's ID, then calling phase 5, then if not found, it will proceed here. And if found, it will skip here the statement, go to read, done deleting employee. And if the statement is not true, it will go to ICE, it will directly break this function. In case 6, conditioning if there's no employee, again, it will just inform you that there's no stored value. Then, if there is, we'll proceed to enter the employee's ID, check, and then looping. If if the ID is found, we'll proceed to calling the function of case 6. Then, if not, proceed here in the function of not pre-registered. Then, the default is to avoid avoidance of user who usually puts above the choices because of experiments and bugs. This condition is incorrect input if it proceeds to 7. Then while if 7 is being clicked, it will end the program. And thank you, good day. So let's run the program.